Right, right. What do you exactly do with Carin with the HUD homes? Is there something special or different when it comes to the lending portion of it, or is it just the same? It's a different type of property to buy.
It's a totally different loan. It's almost night and day, even if it's a conventional loan or some other type of loan that they're doing, because the seller is HUD. So they set up some of their own guidelines.
Okay, so these are bank-owned homes, so to speak, then?
No, these are owned by HUD. So they're FHA mortgages. So somebody had an FHA mortgage, and it went into default. And then whenever it went into default, the bank had foreclosed. They had applied to HUD for a mortgage claim, mortgage insurance claim, and now HUD has taken deed of that property, and it's to be sold in HUD's exact way.
Gotcha. So these are vacant homes then. So these are homes that are traditionally REO type homes that have been taken back by the bank. In this case, it's HUD, so it's a government entity.
Yes.
So that tells me that they probably put a lot of money into it to fix them up, don't they?
No.
They don't. Okay, so that's a misnomer. So I thought for some reason that they fix these things up to get them to a certain standard.
And quite opposite. I would think that HUD would want to make money because most businesses do, and because of the name HUD, Housing and Urban Development, I think that they've taken the stance that we're going to sell homes as is for much below market value.
Right. And I threw my phone over there, and it's ringing. Hold on one second.
What do you think of that, Tim?
I love the phone.
Tom over there's the kingpin. He's got that. I think that was the red line. That's why he's got 44 cell phones on him. If that one rings, he has to answer it.
Nothing like dead air when a cell phone rings. But I had turned that on because Carin, this is the first time she's been out to the studio out here, and even if you have GPS, sometimes it doesn't find it right. So that's why we do that beautiful map that most people forget to print when they come out here. So she should be here momentarily. That was not her. But anyways. Back to the HUD home. So when you were out there actually working with her, training realtors, tell me a little bit about that. And I know you're heavy into education. You and I have done a lot of classes together. And you're a CE instructor, so you're a certified instructor. So you're not just a loan officer. You get out there and you stay up with the education and you train other people.
Yep. And one of the things about the HUD homes and the buying HUD homes is that it's a very, very manila file. No matter where you go in the country, they have one way of doing it.
Vanilla or Manila?
Manila.
Manila in... Was it vanilla? No, it's vanilla.
It's pretty much standard streamlined across the board. They only operate in one way, and that's selling a home at their appraised value. And they've pretty much set up a system of having these things appraised. When we pull comps or when we get conventional appraisals, we may have $20,000, $30,000 of equity just on a $140,000 property.
And they don't jack up the price. They sell it for what they appraise it at.
They would rather sell a home to an owner-occupant that was selling for $150,000 than they would to take a cash deal from an investor at $1 million on a particular property. So to me, if somebody were to come forward and say, here's $1 million, I'm an investor, I want to buy the property, it would make business sense to make that deal. HUD's taken the other stance and said, no, we want owner-occupants.
Right. So that's, I guess, one of the hidden treasures of these HUD homes. So if you're not familiar with HUD homes, it's again, one of these things that you don't hear about in the news. People don't talk about the HUD homes. I think they lump them in with REOs, and REOs really has turned the other way around. There's not hundreds and hundreds of REOs anymore, not even in Arizona. In fact, we are actually one of the top 2 or 3 states of recovery when it comes to housing prices going back up. So a lot of the banks are actually opting more for short sales, which we've talked a lot about on this radio show. We're not going to talk about that tonight. But so there is hidden gems out there, which are the HUD homes. And I think that's why this is a great topic to talk about. We're going to throw out the phone number one more time. It's 480-745-1033. And again, this is In the Know with Tom Diller on KQCK Live. And we have Tim George here from AmeriFirst. And we're talking a little bit about HUD homes. So you said the actual loan itself was different. Is it more difficult for the homeowner to do a HUD loan? Should they deter them, or should they care? Or
no, I would say that as long as you're working with a loan officer that knows HUD homes, and what I mean is ask the loan officer, have you funded a HUD home in the last 6 months? Because if the answer is no, then chances are he doesn't know the current way of how to do a HUD loan.
Right.
So
So are you certified to do HUD loans? Is that a different certification you needed to get to do that, or you just needed to do a bunch of them and kind of learn by default and baptism by fire?
Yeah, you do a bunch of them and you mess them up. As a loan officer, I've messed up more loans than any loan officer out there.
But a long time ago, right?
Sure. When my first year, I wanted to do 500 deals. Okay, my first year I did 72, but I touched over 2,000 transactions. So I learned early on how not to mess up a deal.
Right.
So now I'm not messing up deals anymore, but at the beginning, yeah, we had a learning curve.
Right. Now you have a team of folks that you work with, which is good, because when we have people on the show here, we find that the people that are really killing it, knocking out of the ballpark, have a team of people. They're not lone rangers. They're out there with a team. They've got their good attorney people. They've got their good title companies, by the way. Which title company you use over there, Tim?
Oh, I use you, Tom.
Thank you. So you're like the quintessential person that's out there that's doing very, very well in this market. You did very well 2 years ago. You're doing very well now because you surround yourself with folks like Carin and First American Title Insurance Company to get your deals done properly and to move them through smoothly, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And also taking on people underneath of me, training them how to do exactly what I do so I can kind of multiply myself has helped a lot as well.
Right. What are some of the things that people out there need to know when they approach you to do one of these loans for them?
The biggest thing is just being up front with us and letting us know every piece of information you can up front. Everything about the property, everything about the loan type.
Right.
That way we can structure it properly so it funds on time.
And don't co-sign for a car for your daughter halfway through the loan process.
Never a good idea. Never a good idea to buy anything through the loan process.
Don't put $3,000 on your credit card for a Carnival cruise or something.
It could mess up a loan.
It could mess up a loan. Okay. I think the last time you were here, we talked about poor credit. So what type of credit guidelines do you need to qualify for a HUD loan? Is it the same as it's just conventional? Is it the same as FHA, which I think is lower on the FICOs than a standard loan?
Yeah, the FHA is typically the type of financing we see on these homes because they are typically owner-occupants and they want to come in with lesser of a down payment.
Uh-huh.
So it's typically just an FHA loan. And every now and then what you're going to run into is a lender who can't do a repair escrow. That's very important in a HUD home.
Well, what's a repair escrow?
So, like I said, HUD sells all homes as is, meaning if there's a $500 repair that needs to be made in order for the property to be brought up to minimum property standards, the lender can elect or not elect to hold back the $500 because we can't fix it before it closes.
Gotcha.
Then we'll pay the $500 after it closes and roll that into the new FHA loan.
Okay, you're not talking about a 203K loan or a repair type loan. You're talking about just holding back the money for the repairs but close the loan?
Correct. We hold back we hold back whatever the amount of the repairs is up to $5,000. Then we fund the loan. Then we get the work done. After we get the work done, we send the appraiser back out to verify that the work has been done. Gotcha.
So, as is homes, do they come with warranties, home warranties or anything like that?
I recommend buying it through at least a 3-year home warranty.
Okay, so getting your own home warranty. Okay, so there's actually First American Title actually has a home warranty division, but so it's funny because aren't there? I thought for sure the HUD homes were the ones that actually repaired these houses and got them up to specs. Is that a different type of property?
It's a different type of property. The NSP.
Okay, so they spend all the money to get them like energy efficient, that sort of thing.
Exactly.
So what type of folks are out there looking for the HUD homes, or who should be looking for these homes?
Everybody and anybody in the market for real estate because they are priced, and we've looked at it 3 or 4 or 5, 6 different test cases, and they're all priced 10 to 15% below market value, below true market value.
Right. Maybe this is a question for Carin, but how does actually somebody find a HUD home? Is there a website to find these properties, or do you have to call your realtor to get these properties, or your lender to get these properties?
Actually, HUD makes them available to all bidders at www.hudhomestore.com.
So they're bidding on these properties online, is that it? Or they just find them online, they go get a realtor and go review the properties?
They find them online at the hudhomestore.com, and then they go and find a realtor that is licensed. Okay, they just have to be licensed, and they have to have an NAID number, meaning they have to be registered with HUD as a bidder for the buyer. So the buyer can't actually bid on the home. The agent needs to do that for them with their NAID number.
Okay, so that's what I'm thinking here. So the realtor does need to be HUD approved, so to speak.
Exactly.
Okay, to get the NID number, they have to take those classes, right?
No, that should be a requirement, but the only requirement is that they fill out a form called 1111 and 1111A, and as long as the brokerage is legit and they can verify some stuff on the brokerage, then almost everybody will get an NAID number.
Right.
But if your real estate agent is not if they don't have an NAID number, I'd recommend finding somebody that does.
Gotcha. Gotcha. But you don't really want them to start from scratch on your first transaction, right?
Right.
Gotcha. How long has Carin been doing this? Do you know?
I believe since 2003.
Gotcha.
We can verify with her.
Gotcha. So what are these educational classes for the realtors and when it comes to the HUD?
Well, we teach a class called Understanding How to Buy and Sell HUD Homes Successfully, and it's about a 3-hour class, but we pack about 6 hours worth of information into it. Mm-hmm. So,
and you're just teaching them how to fill out the government forms and how to make sure the bids are going in properly, that sort of thing?
Yeah, I'm teaching them how to read the contract and how to review the contract with their client. That way they understand the contract because it's not the typical Arizona contract.
Okay, so that's the kind of, I guess that's the point I was getting at. So there is more red tape on these properties.
Yeah, there's the contract has to be filled out accurately. The bid has to be done properly. There's so many things that one little mess up can make.
Right.
You know, an agent can make a mess up accidentally and completely throw the deal off for the buyer.
Right. So like a typical resale property, are there a lot of bids on these properties? So a lot of people, once these houses come up, because there's such great values, multiple offers on these properties immediately?
Typically, what HUD does is HUD lists them for 10 full days. So an exclusive property is going to be listed for 10 days where owner-occupants can all bid. All bids.
Owner-occupants only at this point. So they block out investors for a couple weeks?
Investors and people who want to buy second homes. Okay, so owner-occupants only for the first 30 days. In the first 10 days, all bids received are considered simultaneous. They're looked at on the 11th day. So some people have come to me and said, Tim, if I make my bid on Monday, I'm making it earlier than the guy who's going to make it Wednesday. The bid deadline date is Friday. I should be good to make mine earlier, right? It's going to have a better chance of getting accepted.
It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
So I guess that's a positive thing. So it's not the getting to know the real. So on a typical resale, if there's multiple bids, sometimes the passionate part of it gets involved, and you can call the realtor and say, well, this is a great family. They have 3.5 kids, 2 dogs, whatever. Please, they've been on multiple houses. They're approved, credit approved. They're good people. They got 20% down. Please take this offer. That happens out there, right?
Sure.
So on HUD Homes, that doesn't happen because it's basically government black and white. Take all the bids in on the 11th day, review the bids.
Exactly.
And then highest and best offer, how do they determine that after they've held on to all those deals?
That's a great question, Tom, and I'm glad you brought that up because there's so much to understand about what they're looking at. And a lot of people think they're looking at the offer price or they're looking at this or that. They're looking at one thing, and that's line 7 of the HUD real estate contract, which can be found online. On line 7, you'll see net to HUD. Net to HUD, the highest net to HUD, it doesn't matter what the offer price is, it's highest net to HUD. That's who wins the bid.
And what's net to HUD?
Net to HUD is the amount that HUD will net after paying their closing costs, the buyer's closing costs, the real estate commissions, and everything involved in the real estate transaction that they have to pay as a seller.
Gotcha.
Including all HOA liens.
Gotcha. So all that's paid off, obviously. So you get the house clear of title.
Exactly.
Clean and clear. Awesome. Well, it's funny because I thought for sure you're going to be kind of the sidekick of Carin, and she's going to know all the information. Of course, she's not sitting here, beautiful blonde Carin. But I'm surprised how much information as a loan officer you know about HUD.
You need to know a lot if you want to do these HUD homes successfully because they're just a little different. And every time you make a one-day mistake, it could cost up to $375 for the buyer.
Wow. What's ironically interesting here is that FHA, because it became kind of the subprime loan because the FICOs are a little bit lower on that, there's a tremendous amount of FHA loans out there.
Absolutely.
And a lot of them I know are upside down. A lot of them were going delinquent. Because there's more of those out there than any other type of loans at this point, right?
BLB Resources is the asset manager for HUD. They do their predictions, and I believe they predicted for next year, 2013, that HUD will have about 12% of the MLS or of the market.
That's amazing.
Currently about 6%. That means it's going to double over the next year.
So that's funny because I didn't know that number, but because I've been in the industry so long, I had that gut feeling because at one point nobody got FHA loans. You didn't need to.
Right.
Because there's so many other type of hybrid loans out there, 3-1 armed, whatever. But then when all that stuff went away, guess who's left? FHA. So, and it looks like we got a couple phone calls here.
Now we've got a bunch of people on the chat. Somebody wants to know, it says, number 1 Arizona agent, who's from AmeriFirst? I'm working with the Mark Taylor team right now.
Okay. I don't know who's number 1. I said you were one of the top LOs at AmeriFirst. Do you know who number one is? Or are you
No,
allowed to
number one's
divulge
on here.
Oh, number one
That's
is
the
Mark
name
Taylor.
of the chatter.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. Well, I've heard his name and I've heard a lot of wonderful things about him. So good for you. That's great. Now, is that Mark Taylor on the chat, or is that
No,
somebody
they
that's
said
working with Mark?
they want to know who here is working with AmeriFirst.
Oh, gotcha.
Who's from AmeriFirst, because they're doing a deal with the Mark Taylor team right now.
Yeah, I think Mark Taylor is probably one of the top 3 teams, or top 5, or top 10, but he's up there, right?
Mark is a little below me year to date, as far as the numbers are concerned with the company.
Right.
But he's a great loan officer. His team is top notch.
Right.
And a shout out to Sally Shino out there, and our others on chat. Dave Malton, howdy.
Nice, Sally. Thank you, Dave. Thank you so much for listening to the show. We certainly appreciate that. I've bumped into a lot of folks over at AmeriFirst, and I can tell you that I've never met somebody that's not that quality over there. And I say that not that quality. There's just a lot of wonderful people over there. So it's a great company. So I think whomever you work with over there, I think you'll probably do well. So, and again, I've heard Mark's name before, and kudos to him for being out there and doing well in this market. So, and Sally Shino, you blew me off on an appointment this afternoon, but that's okay. I did a rush list kit for her, and she's a wonderful realtor out there. So, Sally, you owe me a beer or something.
I was just looking at her photos up there on the Facebook, and I was thinking, I wonder how Sally Shino's doing.
She's kind of hot,
Sure
huh?
as heck, she says hi. She's very hot, yeah. Oh, is this on?
Oh, yeah. Am I mute right now? No, but she's pretty cool. She was actually at the open house we did with at AZ Academy of Real Estate.
I actually offered her your show, but she said, no, I wouldn't want to do that to Tom. Because I figured we'd have some time to hang out.
She would probably take it. She would take the shirt off my back and take my show and sit here and say, Tom Diller taught me everything. Lock the door on me.
With that guy in the blue shirt that's banging on the door, would you get security, please?
Yeah. How can you trust a guy that only wears blue shirts, right? Well, Sally, thank you for listening. Let's throw out the phone number one more time. If you want to call in and get on air, we'll put you on air. 480-745-1033.
Got another message from the number 1 Arizona agent here that says, LOL true, but as an owner-occupant, it's easier to get a HUD home than any other home because investors do not have the opportunity to outbid you.
That is correct, and that's a great point. That's why we're talking about HUD homes tonight, because that is one of those rare gems that are out there that a lot of folks don't really know about. So I think this is a great discussion. So thank you for getting on there and chatting. So thank you so much. And that's one of the things you talked about. So after that waiting period, the waiting period's 30 days for an investor to jump in?
That's correct.
And at that point, do these homes stay that long out there on the market, or are they gone within the 30 days? And investors don't really get their hands on these properties.
It's very rare that an investor would get a property.
That's a HUD property.
That was a HUD property that had waited the 30 days because, as everybody in the real estate market knows, right now there's so little inventory.
Right.
When one pops up, it's almost 10, 15 bids within the first 10 days.
Right. Now you mentioned as-is properties, and this is a huge misnomer that I want to throw out there. Regardless of what type of property it is, if you're being told as-is, like REO, HUD being an REO or whatever, doesn't mean that you can't get an inspection. They just don't pay for the inspection. You've got to pay for it out of your own pocket. But get that inspection. Now, do most people do the inspection, or is there just not enough margin in there, or people just don't have enough cash to do that?
There's an inspection done by HUD. They actually have their...
So they tell you what's wrong with the property.
Exactly. They have what they call a property conditions report.
Has it always been that way?
It has ever sinst BLB Resources started as the asset
so it has...
manager.
Okay, gotcha. So I think at one time, certainly with REO properties, like a bank takes back, that is truly as is, they weren't doing those inspections. But I always tell people... They're not telling you can't have an inspection. They're just telling you that they're not going to do the inspection. You can do the inspection yourself.
Exactly. And HUD does recommend that you get your own inspection, and we have to have you sign a form as a buyer that says that we've told you that HUD wants you to get an inspection of your own.
Right.
So,
do most people do that?
Yeah, most people do.
Oh, excellent. I know there's a lot of good inspectors out there, and that's one of those businesses that I don't think I'd ever want to do, because kind of you're signing off on, well, the house won't burn down, the electrical's fine, your air conditioner's going to work, the plumbing's going to work, your toilet's going to flush. I think that's a scary business.
I'd much rather tell people that rates are in the threes.
Wouldn't you? I mean, definitely. I've got friends, and we've had some folks on here that are home inspectors, and if any of you are listening that are home inspectors, please call in. But I think that's a scary business, a real scary business. We're getting a ton of calls here, and just wait until Carin shows up, and you see why she's on a billboard. Because she's Very powerful young lady. So, and she's very young too. It's amazing how successful she's been in her career. So,
What's your name and where are you from?
Back to you, Tim. So, you've been doing this for not your entire life, but you've been doing this for a few years now, and you get out there, and a lot of realtors know who you are. Well, what's part of do you have your secret sauce? And some of the other lenders that are out there that are listening, a little bit of advice. I mean, they probably look to you as a mentor. I know you've got a lot of young teammates that are on your team. What are you doing to stay out there and to stay relevant?
I try to make sure that I stay out there with education, with educating myself, educating others as to what's going on. We're in an ever-changing market.
Right.
I don't think that'll slow down. I think it'll be ever-changing for at least the next couple of years.
Right.
So I think staying on top of the game and making sure I know what I'm really doing before I advise somebody on what they should do.
Sure. Excellent. Now we have actually a caller that wants to be on air.
You've got a caller from Peoria on here. Go ahead, caller.
Hello, am I on?
You are on. Thank you for calling.
Hi. Hey, how are you doing? My name is John. I did some got my mortgage with the George team, and they did a real good job for me. We did an escrow holdback that came out to be really beneficial. And, I don't know everything there is to know about the mortgages, but they made it pretty easy for me and walked me through it, and I was very comfortable with the whole way that they did business.
Well, great. Well, John, thank you.
What's that?
Oh, go right ahead. I'm sorry. I was just saying thank you for calling in, and Tim's sitting here smiling, so we appreciate these types of phone calls, and
we appreciate your business, John. How did our team treat you?
Yeah, I treated great. I work with Dean over there, and he just basically took care of everything, and everything went pretty quick and pretty easy. And I've done other mortgages in the past, and so I don't get time to pay attention to everything that we're doing. And he pretty much took over and made sure that it went quickly for me. I actually do I get a hold of him I get some referrals? Do I just call over to the office to get a hold of him?
Actually, you can have anyone that wants to call Dean. Call 602-492-6847. That's our pre-qual hotline, and just have him ask for Dean Russo. He's an amazing FHA specialist.
Yeah, great. You guys do good work over there. I send all my friends and family to you for sure.
We appreciate the business.
That's a great testament. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for calling. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. Keep
Okay.
up the good work.
Okay, great. Thank you. Well, that's awesome. When somebody says they refer their friends and family, that to me is just the best testament you could get.
Absolutely. This is a service-related industry, and unfortunately, I don't feel that I'm very hard to please. I feel I'm an average guy, but every time I run into a service-related salesman, they tell me the same thing. Every one of them, they say, "I'm going to exceed your expectations," and I can count on probably one hand how many times somebody has exceeded my expectations.
Rare, yeah.
And let's say there's 3 times. On those 3 times, the one thing that everybody knew was what my expectations were. So a lot of times I think it's kind of funny that people aren't asking their clients up front, what do you expect of me?
Right.
What do you
That's a good
expect
point.
of my
That's a good
team?
point. Ask. Don't keep anything under. You just got to ask them what they want. Got a couple more chats there, Joe?
Hey, by the way, it's almost like people are chatting among themselves in their own group there. Somebody would like you to take the blue shirt off, though, so they don't have to imagine what you'd look like in something else.
Text me. I'll send you some of my private photos a little bit later.
And by the way, I checked with some of our audience out there chatting. Said the phone call was very clear, sounded great.
Well, excellent.
So
that's good. Good to know. Thank you. I'm glad you checked on that. That's great.
So what that means is you need to get some hearing tests done.
I do. I probably
and
do.
we're going to take care of that for you as
Thank you.
It's
part of my
consolation
medical
prize.
plan.
Right.
Well, you know what? It's already 5:30, and I'm gonna give Carin a call to make sure that she's not stuck behind a truck full of hay or
there was like
something, or
9
some
police
goats.
officers on Gary Road doing a speed trap, so she probably got caught.
And I told her to speed to get
Oh,
her on
yeah.
time.
You said
Oh,
there's no
gosh.
police
There's
speed.
no police ever out that
There was
this
only
way,
9.
So 9 cops. Well, we're going to turn it over to some of our sponsors. We'll be back in about 90 seconds. We thank you so much for listening to KQCK Live out in beautiful Santan Valley. See you in a couple seconds.
Are you having plumbing or septic problems? No worries. Call Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Been in the Valley since 1996. Family owned and operated. Proudly serving East Valley and surrounding areas. With a full range of services from drain cleaning, septic tank pumping, general maintenance and repairs, inspections for the sale of your home. They provide excellent and courteous service for all your plumbing and septic needs. We're not satisfied till you are satisfied. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call today. Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Contact Denise at 480-987-8051. That's 480-987-8051. Are you a weekend warrior or a star athlete? Either way, the orthopedic specialists at Banner Ironwood Medical Center can get you back in the game after a sports injury. We have the specially trained staff, state-of-the-art technology, imaging, and physical therapy to get you moving again. You don't have to stay on the sidelines. Take the first step and make an appointment with one of our orthopedic specialists today. They're pros at diagnosing, treating, and rehabilitating sports-related injuries. Just call 480-394-4480. That's 480-394-4480. You can also get more information at bannerhealth.com/Ironwood. Banner Ironwood Medical Center is conveniently located on Ganzel Road, just south of Combe. Are you ready to start taking control of your future and maximize your earning potential? Central Arizona College has smaller class sizes and personalized attention to help you compete in today's tough job market. CAC now serves Santan Valley and Queen Creek. The CAC Santan Center is located in the shops at Copper Basin on Hunt Highway, behind Barrow's Pizza. Stop in and see how taking classes at CAC costs a fraction of a state university, and your credits can transfer. So, if you want to earn real money, you need to learn real skills at Central Arizona College. Enroll in classes today by calling 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu or call 480-677-7825 or visit www.centralaz.edu. Central Arizona College, your college, your way. Our family pets are such a big part of our lives. That's why Kelly's Critter Clips of Queen Creek and Sun Lakes has been providing pet grooming services for over 10 years. Your dog's comfort is very important to us, so we take the time to treat your pet with care, love, and professional attention it deserves. We welcome any size and breed and feature shampoo and conditioning, styling, flea and tick dips, ear cleaning, nail trimming, and so many other services that will leave your pet looking good and smelling good and feeling great, all at an affordable price. Located in Queen Creek and Sun Lakes, call now for an appointment, 480-655-5066. Kelly's Critter Clips. Are you having plumbing or septic problems? No worries. Call Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Been in the Valley since 1996. Family owned and operated. Proudly serving East Valley and surrounding areas. With a full range of services from drain cleaning, septic tank pumping, general maintenance and repairs, inspections for the sale of your home. They provide excellent and courteous service for all your plumbing and septic needs. We're not satisfied till you are satisfied. Licensed, bonded, and insured. Call today. Cartwright's Queen Creek Plumbing and Septic Service. Contact Denise at 480-987-8051. That's 480-987-8051. Hi, Marie here for wannasing.com. Are you looking for professional?
Welcome back to KQCK Live in beautiful Santan Valley. We're sitting here with beautiful Carin Nguyen to my left. Blonde,
she's looking
blue-eyed.
hot
Is
right
she
now.
looking great right now?
My God.
She's smelling really good, or is that my...
She smells great.
And then Tim George, Carin, I just got off the phone with her. She accidentally made a right on Hunt Highway, and if you know where the studio is, you just keep going down Rittenhouse, and it gets onto all these, it turns into Gary, and you keep going straight, and it turns into nothing. So she's in Florence, hanging out at one of the prisons or something.
Is she really? As soon as you told her there was a hot tub party, it's like she turned down a different road.
That may have scared her a little bit, the hot tub party. So, but tomorrow's your birthday, so I had to tell everybody. I'm telling everybody it's a hot tub party.
We've got Sally Shino and who else do we have coming out? Angela, I know she's coming out.
Sally's going to be here. She's been working. She's getting ready to go on a cruise.
She's working the east side.
Well, she's working the east side. The way you say that, but she's getting ready to go on a cruise. So she's been working out a lot, and she's looking pretty dang fine right now. So Sally, hot tub party at midnight at Joe's.
Midnight. 12:01's okay, but don't be too late.
But we're sorry about Carin not being here, and again, she's going to be talking about the secrets of buying and selling HUD homes. She may be here for the last couple minutes, but don't worry, we will have her out again at another time because she's an extremely interesting young lady, extremely successful individual that I do want everybody to meet and to be able to hear her story.
And just very nice.
And she's just nice. She's got her own billboard. Come on, I mean,
anybody. Is it one of the ones that flip and like maybe you see a front view of her and then it flips and then it's a back view?
Digital billboard.
Oh, those
digital. I mean, this gal. And
those are like $9,000 a week.
Is it? And I put her picture up on Facebook. So again, it's not about her looks or anything, but she's just one of those angelic, very nice young ladies that's just so successful. Beautiful little family out there.
You think she'd be okay with you getting up there with her
on the billboard?
Because that would look that'd be hot.
Knowing somebody that has a billboard, it makes me feel cool by association.
So that's true.
Is that true?
Am I cooler and it's off the freeway?
Am I cooler because I know her?
You are.
I feel cooler because I know her because she owns a billboard. It's right there by Westgate
It's
Mall.
a very, very fresh feeling.
Isn't it?
Like cutting salsa from the garden.
It's not like a billboard on the way to Wiki Up or whatever.
Right.
I'm talking it's right there by the stadium.
And it's not in Death Valley. We're talking about
downtown.
Valley.
I'm talking right outside one of the busiest streets in the entire state.
We're talking where everyone sees you, and this is a high-def billboard. I'm talking if there's a blemish out of place, I mean, if you've got even just the start under your skin of a zit coming up, that's you call the whole photo shoot off because
you're like, forget it. Exactly.
You're like, there's no way that's happening,
Not at $9,000 a week.
No,
absolutely no. And she's just a wonderful gal.
I could see Sally Shino up there on a billboard.
I could see Shino up there too. Doing her little
and Angela too.
Both
of them. Maybe up on the top of Camelback, kind of doing one of these. Looking down at the folks.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely. So it's really Sally Shino on there doing some chatting.
Oh, yeah.
Sally, you need to call in.
Did Crawford help? How do you know Crawford, Sarah? Wow. Sally's sending me all kinds of resources.
Nice. All right, let's try to get back on track here a little
Sorry.
bit. Sally's just driving us all nuts here. Just, her and her dark red lipstick.
Hey, Sally, how you doing?
Tim, leave her alone. Well, that was a great call that we just had a second ago. Great testimonial saying that he refers to his family and friends. So thank you so much for calling in, and thank you for listening to KQCK Live. Back over to you, Tim, since we don't have Carin here. Back to the HUD homes. Are there more inventory of HUD homes that are out there right now than other types of inventory, or are those getting harder and harder to find at this point?
They're about 6% of the market of the MLS right now. Like I said, it's definitely far and few between. But that is with any.
But that
sale.
6%, it's good to kind of search those out because they already have a lot of built-in equity based on the way HUD sells these properties.
Exactly. I'll give you a good example, Tom. We had one last month. Well. On an FHA, you cannot use a different appraisal, but on a conventional loan, we're required to use a different appraisal. And the list price or the appraised value that HUD came up with was $142. Our borrower made an offer at $165, and when the appraiser went out to do his opinion of value, he felt that the house was worth $165 as is. So almost $20,000 of built-in equity.
And they went with the lower value.
They went with the higher value for the loan purposes.
Sure.
But
okay, gotcha.
HUD went with the lower value for the sale purposes, which tells me that they're not in business to make money. They're in business to make sure that we stabilize neighborhoods.
Right. Which is a good thing.
Exactly, for all of us.
Right. So basically, you're a neighborhood stabilizer.
Well, they do contribute a lot to the neighborhood stabilization program. So.
Well, good. How many transactions do you do in a week or a month? I mean, it seems with the rates being so low, is this a good time to jump in and be a loan officer? Let's kind of switch this around a little bit. I've been starting to see a lot of ads out there. Be a loan officer. Come on. Is this a good time to jump in?
If somebody were to jump in, I would say it's a great time to jump in. The issue is I wouldn't just jump in without having some knowledge and some training. At this point, with where we're at in the market, you can make just little mistakes and have huge, tremendous, devastating things happen to your clients.
So you have to get certified now. You have to get a license. Where before all this bank stuff happened the last few years and things started falling apart a little bit, you didn't have to be certified.
That's
you didn't
correct.
even have to take any training. You could just say you're a loan officer, read a script, and start taking an application and try to muddle your way through it. So now you actually have to go through some training. So you want to tell us a little bit about the training and what you need to do?
Yeah, you have to go through a 20-hour training course as well as pass the national and state level test.
Right.
You have to have a background check, a credit check.
Never before you didn't have to do any of that, right?
When I started in the business in 2007, they literally handed me a business card that said Timothy George, Senior Loan Officer, and a rate sheet and said, make it rain.
Nice. Couple more calls there, Joe.
Everyone's looking for the lovely young lady that's not here yet.
I know.
With questions galore, people wanting to go on the air and ask.
We promised, and
what's going on here?
We're going to try to deliver.
That was a call from the beaches of the fine beaches of Papua New Guinea, and the one right before that was apparently a transaction that she just took care of in Kuala Lumpur, a big industrial hotel building, and they just wanted to compliment how wonderful of a job she did.
Oh my gosh!
So holy cow!
Not really.
What can I say? Yeah, absolutely.
Very cool. Well, hopefully we get to see her for just a couple minutes and we can just kind of introduce her. But we were talking about, we switched it up a little bit about is it a good time to jump into the lending game? So you do have to take classes. You have to get certified at this point. You just find yourself a good team of folks to train under.
I would recommend getting with a good loan officer can train you and make sure that you develop in the right way.
Right. Now, are you hiring?
Yeah, absolutely. We're always looking for great people.
So what are you looking for? What makes a good background for somebody to say, you know what, I'm gonna be a loan officer? And what makes a good background? Are you seeing people from all walks of life, or people that have already in a sales job that are making?
I find that people, from the car business, believe it or not, have the most success in the loan industry, and I don't.
They take a lot of no, right? A lot of people say no, so they have thick skin. Is that it?
I think so.
Wow.
I've just noticed that the guys in our industry that came from the car industry seem to do better on average than people coming from other industries.
No slight against car industry folks, but it's not because of the reputation of them being shifty or anything. It's because they actually are good cold calling people, right? They work with folks from kind of cold calling.
That is correct. I actually have a guy that works on my team, and he cold calls renters every day.
And he kills it. I mean, I know I get him lists and stuff from First American Title Company or whatever, and he actually kills it. I know he does a lot of transactions just from making cold calls.
Yeah, he actually talks people into asking them, why are you renting when you could buy?
Sure.
And he gets people out of their apartments into home. No way.
Exactly.
Yep.
The rates are so low right now, the renting to own ratio is actually more favorable to owning at this point. At 3.5 or 3.25, in a lot of cases it makes more, and with the values are still very low, even though they're going up, it still makes more sense to own.
And a lot of people think they can never become a homeowner.
Right. You remember last week we had folks here from Down Payment Assistance talking about all the money that the government, the state, the county, the city has out there for down payment help. So if you want more information on that, email the studio or call Joe or give me or Tim a call. But there's literally $10, $15, $20, sometimes $30,000 or $40,000 out there available for first-time home buyers. Actually, I take that back. Some of those programs, you don't have to be a first-time home buyer. You just can't currently own a home.
And if any of you want to call in and ask a question, whether it be Sally Shino or somebody out there on the chat as well, call our KQCK hotline. You like that, Tom?
I like that.
Hotline.
Now it's the hotline.
From now, it's the hotline, Tim.
Nice.
That would be 480-745-1033. Get on the hotline.
Joe, were you bowling earlier today? You've got your bowling.
No, you missed
on.
One heck of a party this weekend, my friend.
I
had my disco shoes on, my platforms with goldfish in the heels. What do you think of that?
Nice.
My fro was enormous.
Well,
enormous.
You've got your fishnet stockings on that people can't see because you're sitting down.
Well, I just wanted to show them to you. And Tim as a bonus.
Nice.
Just kidding, Tim. Tim's like backing up.
So you hurt your hand feeding one of your ostriches, is that it?
No, actually, on the way home, we got jumped. We were pulled over and carjacked, and I managed to take 6 of them out, and there was 7 in the vehicle. One was a child, though, so I let the child go, 11 years old, and I did slightly injure just from the amount of kung fu used.
So basically, you just slipped and fell outside your house.
Yeah, I tried to catch my puppy, caught my hand on the couch.
I like the first story
Nice.
better.
So it's Joe's birthday tomorrow, and we've been trying to think of something to surprise him with. Now that I'm telling him this, I guess it's no longer a surprise, but it all fell through anyways. But what it was going to be...
Wow, that really sucks.
It was going to be a huge party.
I was really thinking that you were going to throw me a surprise, you know.
We're going to have all these models here, and it just kind of fell apart at the last minute, so I apologize, Joe, but we were thinking about you.
Wow.
Could have been fun.
It's been a good show.
As soon as Sally said no, everybody's just started.
Sally
backing
said
out.
no.
She
Thanks,
did.
Sally.
She did.
Appreciate that.
Absolutely. So it's about quarter till, and our apologies about Carin, and it does happen. Actually, this is the first time it's happened on the show, so she's the first. Hopefully
She
she's
really
not
is.
listening right now.
People don't normally get lost on the way here.
Maybe for a minute or two.
You
but
turn
we'll find
you
the
turn
way.
right at the ostrich and left at the deer.
That's right.
And you should get right here.
But she literally was at L&B's.
She really was.
Across the street from the prison.
You should have never given her that gift certificate, huh?
Yeah, she's over
That's
there
why
getting some
she was
chimichanga on
Yeah,
the
she
way
was
over
hooking
here.
up with a chimichanga.
That's right. Love that place, by the way. So, Tim, I think you threw out your number one time, but again, tell us who you work with, what's your contact information if everybody wants to see you, and are you hiring right now?
Absolutely. We're always looking for talented individuals who are willing to go and exceed our clients' expectations.
And there's a lot of autonomy. It's not punching the clock 8 to 5. If they can work the second shift, so to speak, or the first shift, they can come in and you can train them how to get out there and call.
Hey.
And ladies and gentlemen, the walking billboard just came in. Nguyen, we got like 50 calls for her. People are crying because they just wanted to see Carin, and she's here. Let me help her.
Can you
with
fix
this.
her mic? The orange.
I'm going to fix her mic right here and turn this just a tad bit. This is your sweet spot.
Wonderful.
And get this real close to you, down right there, so you can see her. You're gonna.
You've
wanna
never
put the
done that
hide-
for me before.
You know what? Last time I tried to adjust you, your wife slapped me.
Somebody's already up there. Is she single? Look at that.
She's
No.
not.
See how people
but,
are?
I
Sorry,
asked her
Dave.
to- Let's throw out the phone number one more time. We've got about 10 minutes here. It's
You can catch us on the KQCK hotline right now at 480-745-1033. And those of you that have called for her, please call back. We'll get you on the air.
You want to scoot in just a little bit. And again, our apologies. I'm going to blame it all on Tim for not making sure she had the map. So, Tim, it's all your fault. So we're going to have her on again maybe in the next couple weeks, and we're going to talk about the secrets of buying and selling HUD homes. So Tim kind of muddled his way through it. So good seeing you. It's been a while.
Great seeing
Yeah.
you. We're going to blame this on Siri's older sister, Sarah.
Yes.
Because she was giving me the wrong directions.
And you ended up over at where he used to live over in Florence in the prisons.
Yeah,
over
I was
there.
actually headed to Country Thunder. I didn't know that.
Country Thunder.
Yeah,
That's
see,
right. Nice.
The old Country Thunder tickets you have don't work anymore.
Yeah, they didn't work today.
A lot of people do that.
So I tell you what, we've got about 12 minutes here. So tell us a little bit about your company, what you do, and first of all, throw out your contact information because we've been telling people all about you. So let's start with that, so people have your contact info.
Absolutely. My name is Carin Nguyen, and I am the owner and team lead for the Carin Nguyen team, owner of Real Estate with a little quirky spelling. My name is not easy to say or pronounce, so why be any different with our company name?
There you go.
It's spelled Real, A-Z-T-A-T-E, commonly pronounced Real A-Z-Tate, but it's pronounced Real Estate. And we are in Goodyear, Arizona, and contact phone number is 623-223-1660.
Website?
Website is www.soldbycarin.com.
Awesome. And again, thank you for coming out. And I know you just sat down, haven't had a chance to open your water, and you're probably, you're not sweating, you're glistening.
Yes, thank goodness
you know,
it's cool outside.
Listening.
I wouldn't
That's
be dripping with sweat.
interesting.
But we appreciate you coming out here. I know it's not the easiest place in the world to find, so we will take care of you next time. And you got to have some like dinner tickets for her.
We'll
Maybe
either send
have,
you via helicopter or limo.
Yeah,
Yeah, I should have chartered my helicopter. I didn't. I
you
didn't
should
think
have.
about
Yeah.
that.
Do you have like a chicken pot pie you can make her for dinner? or
Yeah, we've
something?
got one of those Marie Callender chicken pot pies left.
Awesome. We got to take care of all.
It's
our
got a
guests.
little piece out of it from the last time you grabbed it, but I'll have them throw it in.
Nice, nice. So, this the show is going to be on tape, and you'll get a copy of it, even though you weren't in it. But we'll send you a copy anyway. So thank you. We appreciate that. So in a nutshell, tell us a little bit about what you do. And again, we were talking about HUD Homes and all that, and how you are the premier HUD realtor out there. We were talking about Tim, and he's actually hiring. So tell us a little bit about the market when it comes to being a business owner. So let's maybe not get deeply into the HUD piece, but talk about being a business owner.
Sure. The market, actually, being a real estate broker owner, I'm not the designated broker, but as the owner, we've seen some dramatic changes over the last 18 months where the market was flat. The market's gone up substantially where we've had multiple offers, and now we're tapering back down to still multiple offers on some properties, but we're noticing some things in some areas flattening out.
Right. And these are traditional resale, so the REO market has pretty much died down. It's dead. It's near dead. It's on its last breaths.
Yeah, it's dropped significantly. I wouldn't say it's dead. I think it still has a bit to churn out there for the next couple of years.
Right.
But definitely excited to see that traditional market coming back as
right.
well.
Oh, absolutely. And the HUD market is probably going up because of all the FHA loans written in the last 4 or 5 years?
The HUD market's been actually interesting to watch. It had a huge inventory back at the beginning to spring of 2011. And we had a HUD home auction. We liquidated a lot of properties that way. Then the market, the inventory for HUD tapered off.
Right.
And it's picked up a little bit more. Actually, I had that stat. We have 97 active listings right now for Maricopa County.
Compared to hundreds and hundreds and
yes,
hundreds?
Yes, compared to hundreds.
Or thousands?
Actually, we probably had about 1,500 at one point at the peak.
So over 1,000 at the peak.
Yes.
So HUD's predictions, are these numbers going to double, triple in the next year or so?
They don't give us the crystal ball prediction. I would say
based on delinquencies?
Based on delinquencies,
it's going to go up,
and because of subprime gone away,
right.
It's logical to think
right.
that the
right.
HUD homes will stay consistent. The HUD
right.
inventory will stay consistent.
Right. Now, is that the market that your main market that you're in? Obviously, you do all resale and any type of properties. Is HUD your main bread and butter?
I would say HUD is probably 65 to 70% of it.
Oh,
and
really?
Then I also do a fair portion of REO, which is a foreclosure type product, also a distressed property as well, but a little bit different than HUD for the consumer and for the agents.
Sure. Now, REOs, for those of you that still doesn't know what that is, if you've been living under a rock, that's the bank-owned property, which I guess in its heyday was about 3 years ago. Our title company was doing hundreds every week, and that dropped down to dozens. So
yeah, I still work with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the government trifecta, Fannie, Freddie, and HUD, and a couple of the other banks and entities, but Fannie Mae has still remained very consistent.
Right, right.
So our inventory actually is starting to pick up even with them a little bit.
Good, good. Now, what about the traditional resales? How's that looking? And how's the builder market? How's the new builds?
New builds are coming back.
Isn't that great? I mean, the numbers are, I can't use the word skyrocketing, but that's like completely turned around in the last just a few months.
Yeah, I didn't bring the specific statistic with me, but I've been following closely and listening to other economists in the Valley talk about how we just do not have enough product for the next couple of years. So the new builds are going to have to get going pretty rapidly.
It seems like apartment complexes are popping up everywhere too. So
yeah, there's a lot of multifamily popping up as well to accommodate the need.
Right, right. Are you fine? We're just actually talking about that actually the rent to own ratio, it's a lot more, it's better to own at this point. So I wonder, all these new apartment complexes are going to go, I mean, it seems like the rents are going to start dropping dramatically, because I know they went up for a little bit, but it seems like they have to start dropping because of all the new builds coming up.
They will, but I think there's still a lot of people that are in that recovery phase from when they sold. Or
prior homeowners.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so you still have some people that are on the fence. They haven't realized how free the money is at what's the today's rate, Tim?
Anywhere from 3.25 up to 10% for some of those riskier loans.
Right. So 3.25. I mean, that's
10%
ridiculous.
for anybody related to Joe, pretty much.
Right. We make sure of that.
Plus 4 points. They see him coming.
And a date with you, Tom.
Only if I take my blue shirt off, right?
That's
Joe?
right.
You're going to have to show Carin your fishnet stockings you have on a little bit later tonight.
That might be weird.
Yeah, it's waist up only for the viewers.
Right, exactly.
But
we're lucky he's got shorts on right now.
Usually I don't. That's a medical thing.
I can't see under the table, so it's okay.
She's like, please don't stand up ever. All right, well, we've got a couple minutes here, but I'm glad you didn't turn around and go back to your neck of the woods.
I couldn't turn around.
I know. You're on a mission to get over here. I know, really. Yeah, so thank you for not turning around and coming over. So
Absolutely.
So back to the new builds. Do you work with new builders too?
Yeah, we are starting to have some more buyers purchase new build products because now their prices are becoming competitive again.
Right,
They
right.
were so far above the market that it just wasn't feasible and didn't make sense for buyers to go that route. But now for the product they can get, there are some situations where it makes sense, and we're seeing buyers turning to the new build again.
Right. So if, say I'm a new home buyer, I'm out there, I'm ready to buy, and I see this brand new Fulton subdivision, should I drive in there or should I call you up first? I mean, why should I call a realtor up when there's like this dude or girl sitting inside this model home and hands me a brochure and says, buy now because they're going to go up $10,000 next week?
Right, absolutely. Well, I think you're always best to have some type of representation. So when you turn into the new build, what happens is you establish that agency relationship just by the act of walking in the door. And so now...
So don't walk in the door.
So don't walk in the door.
Because they represent who? The builder.
They represent the builder.
What I
They're
don't
not
understand.
evil. They're not evil or anything. They're just
No,
they
they're
represent
not.
themselves.
Correct.
So you need to have somebody. So yeah, I certainly knew the answer to that, but I just think a lot of people don't.
Well, some people don't know that there's some things that you can still negotiate. They
Right.
think, well, that's a boilerplate language. It's the builder's contract.
Right. But it's not.
But it's not.
Yeah.
There's some things that we can negotiate for you.
Right.
Do you know the stats on a very attractive female in those models versus a guy trying to sell stuff? People walking in, 97% more
I would agree.
people would come in if there's a hot chick.
Is that one of those stats you just make up? 97%
It
of
is.
the time.
It is.
100% of the 90% of the time.
But I can tell you, I've got to be close. It's within
I think you're probably right.
within some percentage, right?
But here in Santan Valley, it's they.
Well,
don't have
they're
teeth.
harder to find out here.
Yeah, yeah. It's like going to Laughlin compared to going to Vegas.
Out here, how we judge them is if they can ride an ostrich for more than 10 seconds.
That's right. Then they're in.
They're in for sure.
Absolutely.
I think I passed a mama on that.
You did. You did.
Those are alpaca,
Oh,
actually.
alpaca, I guess.
Yeah, he's got some guinea hen laying around and some other things
Few
buried out
peacocks.
there. A few peacocks and some Madagascar jumping kangaroo rats.
Right. Some Patagonian Maras to top
Yeah.
it off.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Very cool.
He smuggles stuff in from Tijuana.
That was not true.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, before
From
we
Rocky
end,
Point.
They're
before
from
we end today, I want to
Argentina.
at least mention the HUD website,
Please do,
so that
yeah.
people can go on there
Yeah.
because that is a great way for consumers to look at the HUD product directly without even needing an agent. If they're still in search of an agent
Mm-hmm.
and reluctant, just want to learn more about the HUD properties, they can find out about them at the HUDHomestore.com. Actually,
HUD
it's HUD
Home
Home
Store?
Store. So www.hudhomestore.com. And
So
that's
that's
kind of the
nationwide?
MLS. Yes,
Yeah.
it's nationwide. You can search properties anywhere in the country. And
Up to date?
They're up to date. They're actually a little bit more up to date than the MLS because they'll
Right,
make the
right.
changes to that website right before they notify the listing agents.
So when you get on that website, are the consumers out there, are they able to find, everything from A to Z on there, how to get a realtor that's HUD approved, or...
They can see who the listing contact is. They can search for an agent. So if they don't want to use the listing agent for some reason, if they just have questions about the property, they could see that. There's going to be multiple photos that they can look at. There's a property condition report, some disclosures, if there's repairs needed for FHA financing.
Sure.
They can see all those
So the
things.
condition
There's a
report's
wealth
like
of info.
the home inspection that they did,
Yeah, it's a little mini inspection that their contractors do on the properties.
and you recommend they get their own inspection after the... if they-
Absolutely. But it gives them a good snapshot of the property before they go out and take the next step to go out and look at it in person.
And Tim had mentioned these properties are as is.
Yes.
So what they get is they probably get a very good bargain, and they've got to determine whether or not they want to deal with slapping some paint on or doing a little bit. They may or may not be turnkey.
Yes, they may not be turnkey, but they can see exactly what it's going to need based on the repair addendum and the photos, because there's going to be quite a few photos on
Right,
the HUD Home Store.
right.
So there's not one or two photos. There's probably 20 to 25 pictures, if not more, for each property.
Nice. Now, we are 2 minutes to 6. See how time flies when you're having fun?
Yes.
Tim, why don't you throw out your contact information one more time? So we just have a couple minutes here, and I appreciate you coming out.
Absolutely. Call any of us on our team. We can be reached at 602-492-MTGS or 602-492-6847.
Yep, and you're with AmeriFirst, which is a very well-known company that's been around quite a bit from Arizona. I believe they're Arizona born and bred,
Yeah.
and they're a banker, so you guys can sell to all sorts of different companies out there.
Yeah, we underwrite our files in-house. You know, we close
Locally.
in-house. And we
You guys are fast. You guys have a great reputation. So.
we try to be quick, you know. We try to be quick, so...
Excellent. And Carin, you want to throw out your information one more time?
Yes, it's 623-223-1660. and website is www.soldbycarin.com.
Excellent.
We got a really quick question
Sure.
sneaking in under the line here.
It's not Sally Shino, is it?
It's not.
Oh, good.
Dave Malton, he said that he bought a HUD home, and I want to know, is this common? He said the HUD home he bought, the people kicked 8 holes through the living room wall because they were upset they lost their home. Is that a thing of the past, really, now? Don't they go to prison for that for life?
No, unfortunately, we see properties. I have one that we just got this week that they stripped the entire kitchen and bathrooms and laundry rooms and you name it. So a few holes in the wall, actually, it sounds like that's probably a minimal.
Yeah,
You know
it's
what?
not an
Issue.
easy thing to lose your home, and some folks do get frustrated and discouraged or whatever. And if you're out there losing your home, you've heard us say this in the past. Call somebody. Don't wait until the last second until you have to leave the property. There's still, you can short sell. You can do all sorts of things. Maybe you do end up having to lose your home, but at least control your destiny and your exit strategy. Call a realtor. Call Carin. Call a lender. You may end up renting for a while, but that's okay. Life goes on. You'll get another property sooner or later. Maybe you'll never buy a property again, but who cares? But don't destroy the house. I mean, if you read your mortgage clause, it actually states in there that you can't do that. Are you going to get prosecuted? Probably not.
But
Probably
they may
not.
call the Sons of Anarchy.
But, it's just, karma. Don't pour cement down the toilet or whatever. Just
You're giving people ideas, Tom.
Tom,
don't steal the Honeywell thermostat off the
don't
wall.
drain your pool and go skateboarding in it like Tim would do over here.
Don't throw your barbecue grill.
Yeah, don't
the pool.
do that. Just hand the key over, or try to short sell. That way you control your destiny, and you can move on with your life and walk out with your head up high or whatever. Because good things happen to bad things happen to good people or whatever. So, but anyways, it's 6:01, and I want to thank you for listening to KQCK Live. This has been In the Know with Tom Diller. Thank you all for listening. Next Tuesday we'll have another great guest, and we'll have Carin back. So
Hopefully one that gets here.
Will you come back,
right.
Carin?
Yeah,
I will
we're going to
come
tell her
back.
the show starts at 4, so she gets here by 5:15.
Yeah. That will work.
But we're going to get her a map next time. So thank you, everybody, for listening. We appreciate it. Joe, thank you so much.
Stay tuned, guys, for the O Factor, your organizing queen of the valley, right here on KQCK.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us today on In the Know with Tom Diller. We will always continue to strive to bring you the best in guests and to keep you informed on every facet of Arizona's volatile real estate market. Remember to tune in each and every week at 5 p.m. Arizona time exclusively on KQCK radio station. When it comes to real estate and more, be in the know.
When you visit Hill Family Dentistry in Santan Valley, dentist Dr. Tim Hill provides each patient with personalized, gentle care that you deserve. Our entire team is dedicated to providing you and your family with services that will make you smile. With a full range of general, cosmetic, and specialty dentistry services that will keep you and your